Okay, so I have done my 3 introductory YouTube videos and I wanted to make more editorial style videos, opinion, my thoughts and ideas about certain things. I had a request, make a video about America, the land of the free, or, as was pointed out in that request, the illusion of the fact that this is the land of the free, because I do live here in America, the United States of America, USA. America, I suspect, could actually be North America or South America, but most people that live in the USA know what I mean. So, here we go with, is America really free? Or is it just an illusion? First of all, I do believe that the government of America is way too big. I think it's bloated. I think it's too big. I think that a majority of the government created agencies, while possibly very good in theory, don't work effectively or efficiently, and there is just way too much government just in and of itself. So yes, the government is way too big, but I do not believe, even though the government has, as some people would say, an inordinate amount of regulations and rules that we have to follow as citizens. I do not believe that the government is the reason or the primary reason for lack of freedom in this country. Now, I am the first person that will support, or one of the first people, that will support someone's right to say this country sucks. In fact, I will say it on quite a few occasions. I will support people saying it because I support freedom of speech. I support people being able to voice their thoughts and their opinions, whether I agree with them or not. However, I live here in the United States, and I very much like living here in the United States. The fact that I can make this video, the fact that I can post this video and say, hey, I have a problem with the government, that's freedom. That is freedom. Now, in the request to make this video, it pointed out that America isn't really free because you can't hunt, you can't drive, you can't, I forget what else. You can't do any number of things without the government telling you how exactly you can do them. Well, in my opinion, that is the government's job. The government is here to help keep the citizens safe. That is both something it should do in regards to our sovereignty, in regards to making sure that other countries don't invade and conquer us, to make sure that the world does not change in such a way that we do not lose our sovereignty as a country, as a nation. But also, the government is responsible for our protection individually as people within our nation. That is where laws come from, and that is where rules and regulations come from. Now, I'm fairly certain anybody that is listening to this probably is familiar with jokes about, warning stickers. Like, for example, the warning sticker on a snowblower, do not use on the roof of a house. Now, warning stickers are created in part to prevent lawsuits, which is pretty sad. But the reason warning stickers are put on products is because somebody has done something stupid enough times that it warrants a sticker being made to tell people, please don't be this stupid. So, for example, when people made snowblowers so people could clean snow out of their driveways or off of their sidewalk, no one thought, hey, some idiot is going to climb up onto the roof of their house and use this snowblower to clean off their roof. No one thought that. No one said, hey, someone's going to be really dumb and do this, and then even worse, when they do such a thing and they slide off of their roof and fall and break their leg, they're going to sue us and we're going to have to pay them. No one thought that. But it happened. And because it happened, we have warning stickers on products to tell people what not to do. Now, governments create laws, and they create agencies that are designed to oversee certain aspects of our lives. And some of those laws and some of those regulations restrict our personal freedoms. For example, we can't just buy a car and drive down the road without getting in trouble unless we have a license, and a legal, valid license at that. And that is a rule, and that is a law, and that's a regulation, that's a restriction, whatever. It impacts our freedom. But you know what? I think that's okay. So I don't really think that most of the laws that restrict our freedoms, for example, we can't hunt without getting a license. If we do hunt, we can only kill a certain number of whatever we are hunting. There's reasons these laws were put into effect. And for the most part, laws and regulations came into effect for very solid reasons, for very good reasons. And maybe it's bad, but I support laws and rules and regulations that help the majority of people. And I don't think that makes us less free, even though in reality it does restrict our personal freedom. But I think there's a huge difference between losing freedom and laws and rules and regulations that might restrict our freedom because they help people. For example, in China, you can't make a YouTube video and post it. You can't even access YouTube because the government doesn't want you to have access.
Attention, a new important message has arrived.
Sorry about that, I'm in my truck. The government in China doesn't want you to have access to a lot of information that's out there. They control and dictate your life in ways that the United States doesn't. Now, unlike some people, if somebody in this country wants to burn the American flag, or they want to throw the American flag on the ground and walk on it, while I may not like that, I support people having the right to do that because it is legal. It is a form of protest. Do that in China and you get arrested or shot, presuming that it's the Chinese flag and not the American one. So I did a little research, and the most recent I could find about freedoms of countries was a thing called the Human Freedom Index, and it was from 2012. And it listed countries and the freedom values. I believe it was a 1 to 10 scale. And ranked number 1 on that list was Hong Kong, if you can believe it. And there's a personal freedom and there's an economic freedom, and then the combination of the two gives a total freedom value. And in Hong Kong, the personal freedom level, yes, I have notes and I keep looking at them. The personal freedom value was 9.09. The economic freedom value was 8.98, and the overall freedom value was 9.04. That was Hong Kong, and in 2012 it was ranked the most free country in the world. Just for reference, I'm sharing this. Canada was ranked number 6. Personal freedom 9.2. Economic freedom 8.0. Overall freedom value 8.6. Just for reference, Germany ranked 12th. Personal 9.34. Economic 7.55. Overall freedom value 8.45. Now, you may have to rewind this video a little bit if it really interests you, but compared to the United States, we rank 20th. And our personal freedom is 8.71, which is compared to Hong Kong at 9.09. Our economic freedom is 7.81 compared to Hong Kong, which is 8.98. And our overall freedom value is 8.26. So yes, there are restrictions to our freedoms. And yes, most of those are based on laws that the government creates. But even at an 8.26 overall freedom value, I feel like we are pretty darn free. We may have to get a license to drive a car, but we can drive a car. We may have to buy a license to hunt, but we can hunt. We may whine and cry about the Second Amendment, but unless we're a felon, it is my understanding that we can buy guns and own them. There's a lot of things that we can do that, while maybe there are restrictions on them, make us free. And again, the fact that I can post this video, to me, says that we are free. The fact that you can watch this video, to me, says that we are free. The fact that I can go out in the street and say that I hate Trump, or I hate Obama, or I love Trump, or I love Obama, means that we are free. We can voice our opinions. We can do what we want to do within certain restrictive guidelines that keep a majority of the people safe. And to me, that means we're free. I do not believe it is the government that restricts our freedoms the most. In fact, even though I do believe the government is way too big, and yes, the government does restrict our freedoms, and things could get more free, and we could have fewer regulations and rules and restrictions. As an example, I'm very much opposed to the seatbelt law. In my opinion, the seatbelt law is unconstitutional. In my opinion, the seatbelt law is wrong. Is wearing a seatbelt a good idea? You know what? Probably. As a truck driver, I am obligated to wear a seatbelt when I drive, or I can lose my license. If I get a ticket not wearing a seatbelt because I am a CDL Class 1, Class A driver, I can lose my license if I don't have my seatbelt on. I think that is unconstitutional. But you know what? I wear it. And yes, that is a restriction to my freedom. But unlike a lot of other restrictions, wearing my seatbelt doesn't impact other people. It only impacts me. Or at least that's my view on it. But I wear it because it's the law. And I accept it even though I don't like it. But even though that's an example of restrictive freedoms, I do not believe the freedoms that we have are restricted the most or primarily from the government. I believe that we as citizens restrict our freedoms the most. Now, why do I say that? Because, for example, if someone wants to go outside and say they are an atheist and God doesn't exist, the amount of hate that can pour onto them from other citizens is unreal. It's unreal. You can actually be threatened. You can have your life threatened because you don't believe a certain way. And the government doesn't do that. It is other people. Or, similarly, you can go out and say, hey, I'm Islamic and I believe in, Islam. I'm a Muslim. And people can say, automatically, they can say, you're a terrorist and we don't want you living here and we hate you. And you don't know anything about the person. But you automatically hate them and treat them poorly because they believe something different than you do. And the number, it's not just religion, the number of things that people hate each other for, that you see on the news and that you see on Facebook and that you see if you walk outside your door and look, the number of things that cause people to hate each other simply based on difference of opinion or lifestyle, even though nothing is illegal. That is where we have restrictions to freedom. And that, coincidentally, it's where a lot of our laws and rules and regulations come from. It's because we, American citizens, who live in what we like to claim is the land of the free, do not want other people to have freedom. The only freedom most of us want is the freedom for other people to be like us. And that, my friends, is why we aren't the land of the free. We like to claim we are. We like to pretend we are. As citizens, we spout off about how free we want to be and how important it is. But as citizens, our lack of tolerance, our lack of decency, our lack of respect, our lack of ability to allow other people to actually have freedom, yeah, that's where our freedoms are restricted. That's why we aren't the land of the free. And that's why, primarily as a country, we suck. Because of our citizenry. And believe it or not, when the Constitution was originally drafted, I know a lot of people are angry when Trump got elected, and they're angry because the majority vote actually voted Hillary in. But when the Constitution was drafted, the Electoral College was created. And the reason the Electoral College was created and the reason Trump got elected is because, and this isn't a direct quote, as John Hancock said, we cannot let the masses have a majority rule. Basically what John Hancock said when he drafted up the Constitution of this United States, what he said when he made the Electoral College, not him alone, not him personally, but the Founding Fathers, when they created our government and they made the Electoral College, what they said was, uneducated, stupid people can't make too many choices. That's what they said. And that's why the Electoral College is in place. And everybody that started spouting off about Trump's not my president, Trump this, Trump that, guess what? Trump got elected legally. And anybody that doesn't understand that doesn't understand politics. And it's the hate that we have as individuals and citizens that restricts our freedom. That's my take on it. I would love comments. I would love anybody to tell me what they think about this video. If you liked it, sure, let me know. If you disagreed with it, please let me know. But even more so, if you disagree with something I say, please tell me why. Because I'd love to have a discussion. Civil, adult conversation. I love talking about differences. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day.